Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to another video. It's your girl Chin here. Thank you so much for being here in yet another video. If this is your first time here, welcome. I know today's video is supposed to happen. How do I know this? Because it's been a year since I uploaded the video with my mobile home. Basically, I'll leave a link to it if you didn't see it before. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the description box down below, so make sure you guys go check it out. So this is not my first go around with it, and I seen how well they do, and I'm like, you know what, I've been sitting on this for a while, but I was watching a YouTuber by the name of Sparkle Anahata, and I love her, by the way. Honestly, I think she mirrors me. Like, it's so crazy. I think we're so similar. So I watched a video of hers from a couple months ago, and she was basically just so vulnerable with her audience, and just saying things that I'm like, wow, like it was really personable stuff that I wouldn't necessarily put out on the internet. But to be honest, she really inspired me. It's not everything that you want to just openly, or you feel comfortable openly putting it out on the internet for total strangers to judge you, or because everybody is perceiving things differently at all times. Let's just say 1,000 people that's watching this video right now are all filtering it differently, so people are going to come up with their own, what they think, and just whatever judgment or whatever that they want to do, come up with in their heads. And I get it. Like, she really gained such a huge respect from me because that girl said some ish. And even until this day, I was watching one of her recent videos and she was still vulnerable. Like, I'm talking about like real, like if you go and check out her channel, you would see what I'm talking about. But I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of, because at the end of the day, no one is the first person to go through something bad, or something that you perceive or you think that's bad, quote unquote. Because personally, I don't think in certain circumstances is anything bad. My whole take on life is lessons. I truly believe that we go through things to learn. It teaches us, it helps, it elevates us. We might be hurt from a certain situation, and that hurt, made us stronger. Now we're able to move on. Or maybe, we had to go through certain things in our path to, gain more knowledge, gain more wisdom, so that now we know how to maneuver on our life's journey. Because ultimately, that's just what it is. Life is just a journey. And like I said, no one's the first person to go through something that's so terrible. And quite frankly, if somebody is going through something or went through something, we're all one collective. So there's tons and tons of other people that's going through the same stuff. So it's really nothing to be ashamed or thing about. But I do get it. She really inspired me. Basically, I'm rambling off, but she truly did inspire me to go ahead and make this video. So as you know, if you're new here, I decided to move to Georgia I can't believe it's been almost 3 years. Like, that's crazy me even saying that. It just seems like it was just yesterday. Things did not work out the way that it was supposed, like I wanted it to work out. I forgot to even tell y'all what we're going to talk about today. So basically, we're going to talk about how I manifested my mobile home, okay? So let me just say this really quickly before we even get ahead, because I think it's important for everybody to know. See, in order for you to change, you have to change. So you cannot stay the same. And what I mean by that is, things that we want comes to us on an energetic level, right? A lot of people live on autopilot mode. So what that is you get up in the morning, you got to take the kids to school, whatever time you got to get up, you take the kids to school, you got to get ready for work, and then that's like your whole day. You know what I'm saying? So people create this cycle within their lives, and then they get stuck into the cycle. But if you do want to change and live life in more harmony, and have things more at ease and flow, and you want to be a bit more creative, and just it's just a whole lot. But we're not going to get into that right now. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, you have to change energetically, vibrationally. You have to be a match for the change that you desire. So what I was doing before I moved to Georgia, I was working on myself. But when I changed, in harmony, and I was in flow and I was on that frequency of what I desired. So life was more fulfilling. I was doing personal development, going within myself, working on myself. I had a connection with my source, God, and I was just able to manifest with such ease. Life works with you instead of against you, if that makes any sense, once you start to do internal work. That is just the way that it is, okay? Before I left, I was doing the work, okay? And I realized really quickly that when I went to Georgia, I lost it, but it didn't click yet. And then I started, throughout the period of time, I started like really some YouTube videos and things like that. And everything kept clicking because I'm like, oh my gosh, why is things not working out? Like, why? You know? And I realized very quickly, you guys, I stopped doing the work. And now life was in shambles. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. When I moved into my first apartment in Georgia, coming from New York and my old apartment in New York, I didn't have a lease, right? I always hated the concept of a lease because you are basically in a agreement for how many periods of time, whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year, whether it's a 2-year lease, whatever it may be, you're in an agreement. And if you break the agreement, in order to break the agreement, you have to pay extra in rent or, you know, things like that. So I always hated that concept because I'm just like, I don't want to be tied to anything. And that goes back to the freaking Matrix. But you know what? We're not going to get into that. My apartment in New York was through a private landlord, so I didn't have that problem. So when I went to Georgia and I had to sign my lease, I'm just like, I didn't feel good about that, you know? And then on top of that, things were just not working out. And I told you guys before about the neighbors downstairs, and just the difference from New York was I had so much fear within me. Like I had so much, I wasn't able to really be free. I wasn't able to, you know, just continue what I was building. I don't remember. I was trying to go through my Snapchats and to see if I have written anything, but I do have something I'm going to insert, but that's going to be later on in the video. But I did find one thing, but I was just like, couldn't find anything, but I knew I wrote something on Snapchat before saying I wanted to get a house because I was down in Georgia by myself. I didn't want to rent a house because you guys know I don't want to purchase in America. So I didn't want to rent a house, so because I wasn't really sure. I wanted to be amongst people, so I think that's why I went with the apartment complex in the first place. But anyways, so I think I wrote on Snap that I wanted to get a house, and people kept saying that too, like, why don't you rent a house, why don't you rent a house? And I'm just like, you know, that's a really good idea. So I started to, you know, really play around with the idea of renting a house. So to be honest, a trailer was not in my mind at all. Trailer parks have a negative stigma. They carries a negative stigma. But to be honest, where I lived it wasn't really so a trailer park. It was just like a little street, like one street with a bunch of trailers. So it was probably like 12 trailers on that one street. So basically what happened was I ended up going to look at one mobile home before, right? And it's so funny because when I went to go look at the mobile home, it had a washer, a dryer. The room was really, really tiny though, right? Listen, I want y'all to hear this story out. Listen to it. The bedroom was really tiny, and I have a queen size bed, so I wasn't sure if that was gonna fit in there. And I think he wanted about 900. Yeah, but he wanted it like 3-way. To be honest, like I said, Sparkle really, really got me on my shell because I'm gonna talk about stuff that I don't really talk about. I don't really talk about my finances on my channel, but I'm gonna just keep it all the way real. Anyways, I was not that, you know, funds were definitely not there, so that was gonna be almost like $2150 or something like that if I'm doing the math correctly. So the funds wasn't really there. I was just like, oh my gosh. But I knew that I wanted a my own. Like, you know, I was just tired of living amongst the people. Like, it's just, I didn't want to get another apartment complex. So anyways, that didn't work out. That spot didn't work out. And to be honest, I feel like I see, this is the thing, when it comes to manifestation, you know that your manifestation is close whenever you actually are seeing what it is that you want. Like, for example, I went to go see this trailer and it wasn't the trailer that I actually got. That's how you know you're pretty close to whatever, you know, coming into your reality. And I've had that experience more than one time, not just with this trailer, which is a lot of different things. And I'm just like, wow, okay, so that's, you know, kind of like the universe giving you like a little, you know, like, you right there, like, so you on the right track, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that didn't come through. And then, like, I think maybe like a month later, I was sitting in my car, and I'm sitting here like on one of these websites that has renting websites. I was looking at little stuff like houses and stuff. Mind you, remember, like I said, the money was not really there, but I was still looking, and I always had faith. And I said, you know what, like, one thing about me, I have faith in the unseen. I know that everything I want wants me. Money doesn't really matter, to be honest. It doesn't matter if you have the physical form of money, you guys. And I want you to hear me out. It does not matter what it is that you want. You have to learn to see opportunities and know that, like, anything is possible. You know, who's to say that you might have just $1 in your pocket that day, and then you went to go do a scratch off, or you went to go play the lottery, and boom, now you are up. Now you have the money to do whatever it is that you really want to do. You see what I'm saying? So the physical money is not the issue at all. You have to write down, visualize your imagination. Everything starts from in your imagination. Once you could think it and have faith, you have to have strong faith, knowing that, and deserving, knowing that what I want wants me. There is nothing in between. Like, if I think about it and I have strong feelings about it, it's mine. You have to put action to it. So you see how the first trailer did not work out, but that was a part of action. You see what I'm saying? So I actually went, even though I didn't have the whole money for it, but I put action to it. You know what I'm saying? By going to go see it, because now that it's like you really have to activate your senses, like in a sense. Like, so when you're going to go see it, now you're visualizing it. Now you're imagining yourself even more than just in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're seeing it. So it activates something, man, like within the subconscious, and it's so crazy. That's what just really just draws everything to you. So I have this list right here that I do want to read to you guys, because it's so funny that I forgot that I even written it. It has here the things that I wanted in the house. And that's another thing too. Make sure that you guys, I know sometimes, like, it's easy. We have our cell phones and it's just easy to, you know, write on your cell phone. But it's something with just writing, like using your pen and writing it on a piece of paper. But anyways, so yeah, I wrote down a list of things that I wanted in the house. Like I said, when I said house, I didn't know I was going to get a trailer. Okay. So I wanted it to be away from other houses, clean and open backyard, washer and a dryer preferred, so it wasn't necessary. I wanted it to be clean, fresh and clean paint, modern bathroom. The rent needed to be $1,000 to $1,500. A gas stove preferred. Now, I pretty much got everything on this list except for the washer and the dryer, which was preferably. The gas stove preferably, which I don't know if they do have gas stove in Georgia, but most of the places have electric, so I'm not sure about that. And then the rent was unbelievably lower than $1,000 to $1,500 a month. Now, remember what I said. about the lease thing, right? How I hated leases. That was another thing I had in my mind. I'm like, because I know that anything is possible. Just because you have places that rents you, like most of the places, and that's just like their whole, their requirements when it comes to renting is leasing. I knew that there has to be something out there, somebody out there that does not require signing a lease. I just knew it, and it wasn't up for debate, because you know what, it is out there. See, a lot of us get caught up in this one, and I get it, I can see how we get caught up in this one direct mindset, because like we see how the rules are made up in this matrix, and we're like, okay, dang, need an apartment, first thing you're gonna know is well, I gotta sign the apartment lease. It just comes to you, just like, it's just like that, you know what I'm saying? And you're not really thinking like, well, there gotta be other options. But the thing is, there really is other options. So that's how I view everything. Everything I want exists. I can have anything I want. I don't have to feel unsure if I'm gonna get something because rules to certain things now, or this and that. No, I don't live like that, and I don't see things like that, and it does not work like that. Anything is infinite possibilities in this life, abundance of it. So just because this small portion says, oh, you need to have this or you need to have that, there's always exception. Anything you want, and if you believe it, you can receive it. The most interesting part about this whole thing was, like I'm saying, I ended up finding a person, which was the trailer that I ended up renting, the mobile home, and she did not require a lease. Thought to myself it was going to be a little bit difficult when it comes to Georgia instead of New York, because New York is a little bit different, but it's everywhere. That's just proof that it's everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And anywhere. So don't ever feel like, oh, maybe because you don't have good credit or you don't have the amount of money to get anything. This landlord, it's so funny because I called her and I told her my situation. So I just had to pay the rent, the first month's rent, obviously, and security, right? And my rent was only $650, you guys, for that whole house. All right, that whole trailer was $650 a month. When I went to go meet up with her, she actually allowed me to pay just the rent. And then because I was working obviously, but she was like, okay. And then every week we made up an agreement. We came with, ooh, my legs hurt. Oh. Ooh. But yeah, so every week I gave her a certain amount for the security. She allowed that. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, because I had such, like, I saw myself, like when I looked at, before I even went there, when I looked at the pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I knew, because everything was on the list here. You know, it was freshly painted. That was even in the description when I got there. Yes, it was freshly painted, newly renovated. You guys saw how nice it was and clean. Well, I thought it was clean, child, but that was another issue. It was clean, don't get me wrong. It was just the critters that seeped into because it wasn't like really like firm and sealed up around the mobile home, so like critters and stuff were always getting in the apartment, and it was just annoying. But that's neither here nor there. But it was basically clean, like I said, renovated, modern looking. Everything was on the list here, you guys, and I just couldn't believe it. And the backyard was quite spacious. So there was a trailer behind mine, but it was still some trailers that's actually next to each other, which is so crazy because I wrote down that I wanted mine to be away from everybody, and mine were literally away. Like I didn't have to look out my window and see somebody. Like I was blasting my music. It was just what I really truly wanted. Like I was blasting my music, nobody could hear me, and I really love that. And it's so crazy. I know I talked about this on Snapchat, and you know, like everything that I even imagined even blasting my music. And that's another thing too, you guys. You know, you just have to be very detailed, okay? Like things that you know that's gonna make you happy with whatever you desire, imagine it. So I would imagine myself in the house by myself blasting my music, because I didn't feel comfortable doing that at the apartment in the complex. So I would just imagine myself blasting my music, you know, cooking, And it's so crazy how everything just manifests just the way that I imagined it to. It's not that hard at all. Like once you really understand the basics and you just keep on learning and watching more things to have to get you to have a better understanding of how it all works energetically and things like that, like you'd really start to see how this stuff is really just such a breeze. See, your body is going to tell you, is going to follow whatever you think and you put emotion to. So you're going to always feel it within your body, right? So you're going to know whether you feel good about it, whether you feel bad about it, you know. And if you feel good about it, it's already yours, you guys. And that's the thing, like there really is no separation between you and whatever you desire. You're already entangled with it, because once the thought is out there, you are entangled with whatever it is that you want. You just have to do certain steps. You have to go and see what it is that you want. Your body, put your body in physical places. Like let's just say even you want to live a certain lifestyle. If you want to be amongst wealthy people and that's your desire to be in luxury, you want to live in luxury, go to luxurious restaurants, you know, go to the high 5-star restaurants. And guess what, even if you don't have the money to go and order something, you know, still go around the area. Look at how the people are dressing. Look at how the people are moving. You might even have conversation with some people and somebody might even offer you a drink. Hey, you never know. Like I said, think about the possibilities, y'all. Stop limiting yourself. Stop using not having money as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? That's just really a sad excuse, because after all, like I said, the money doesn't even worth anything. It doesn't worth anything. I don't care how much value they try to tell you in this world that, oh yeah, sure, we need money to survive. But at the end of the day, it's you are the creator of the money. You see what I'm saying? You are the creator of everything. So listen, God can move mountains, man. Like everything will shift and once you are in alignment and you know, and you're putting yourself in certain situations for what you want, and you're doing the work and you're putting action, you're visualizing, you're having faith, you're all of these things, you would be so surprised to see how miracles could come and work for you. And that's the most magical thing of this world, this universe. It's so magical. A lot of people just be sleeping on their own selves, including myself. Like this, I'm getting back to making sure that I'm in harmony and that I'm in flow, because when you do so, you really working with you flowing really gets you what you want that much faster. That was pretty much how I manifested my mobile home. I hope this video helped you and a little or a lot. But anyways, comment down below, let me know what you think. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.